Welcome back to the Port Car Method, where we help men develop the authentic masculine presence which women respect and desire.
Um,
We created this series to explain all of the features, benefits, and advantages of acquiring genuine masculine dominance. Today, we're exploring what women actually want, juxtaposed against what they claim to want. Publicly, they offer a laundry list of nice qualities: thrifty, cheerful, generous, attentive, open. Essentially, a Boy Scout with a merit badge in chastity. You're probably already that good man they claim to want. You're not a cheater, a narcissist, or abusive in any way. And I want you to remain that basically good man while also getting the loyalty, honesty, great sex, and partnership you deserve. Here's what women refuse to say out loud. They want all of those nice qualities, only in a man they already find sexually attractive. This leaves countless men confused when they display all the characteristics women say they want and get cheated on and left anyway. My friends, it is not your fault. You were taught to believe women mean what they say, that honesty is their policy. Sadly, no. For valid evolutionary reasons, but valid doesn't mean right or acceptable. Women cannot afford to admit their actual desires. The sexual marketplace power dynamic would flip completely. All the simping would end if women confronted their inner drives. Life on easy mode would end. The truth is uncomfortable but liberating. Women consistently respond to behaviors they publicly condemn. They chase men they claim to hate. They stay with men who break the rules. So let's examine the evolutionary psychology. For hundreds of thousands of years, women faced a fundamental problem: identifying men with good genes who would also stick around and protect and provide for the offspring. These qualities rarely came in the same package. The strongest male would use her vigorously, then leave. The weaker, agreeable males would stay, but produce far less viable offspring. This created a dual mating strategy: conscious preference for providers, while their bodies remain programmed to respond to dominant males. In 2018, a study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology confirmed this. Women consistently rate dominant traits as more sexually attractive, even while claiming to prefer sensitive partners in the surveys. This isn't hypocrisy. Well, okay, it is. But it's based in biology. Their conscious mind wants security. Their unconscious mind wants strength. When these desires conflict, biology wins. Women initiate 70% of all the divorces in America today. That jumps up to 90% if the woman has a college education. What's being taught today does not strengthen relationships. It doesn't make them better communicators or smarter. It actively destroys relationships, leaving women single, bitter, and wondering where all the good men went. This biological conflict created the female testing mechanism. Women test men constantly to determine if you are genuinely strong or just pretending. She'll challenge your decisions, create drama from nothing, flirt with other men, make demands of you to see how much and how often and how readily you comply. And then she withdraws affection to gauge your reaction. Most men fail these tests. They either fold immediately, proving they're weak, or they overreact with anger, proving they're unstable. I've seen this play out in my own mentoring practice. A client came to me after his marriage had gone cold and bitter. He'd been doing everything his wife explicitly asked for. More housework, more emotional sharing, more deference to her preferences. And the more he did, the more she demanded. Nothing he did was ever actually enough, and her demands could change from day to day. This was because she did not want him to comply. She wanted him to get sick of it and show her a little masculine dominance. See, he had explained to me that earlier in their marriage, years before the kids and the mortgage and the advanced career, he would occasionally just lose it on her for pulling that exact kind of crap, raising his voice and threatening to take her back to her mother. After which, she would be the best wife she knew how to be for weeks. She missed that take-charge man she had married. Her long-term efforts to suborn him into submission had come to fruition, and she hated it. She also had no way to articulate her feelings to him, so she just did what had always worked in the past: make him miserable enough to explode. Only, he'd stopped exploding. He'd been conditioned by her over many, many years to accept her bitching and complaining and demands for compliance by just complying. Had he not reached out to me when he did, he would now be just another divorce statistic, paying half his pre-tax salary to a woman who allows Chad to use her on the weekdays and then goes out every other weekend. Because, when their evil, abusive, narcissist father has their children. I helped him understand the actual dynamic his marriage was suffering under, gave him the tools he needed to remain true to his loving nature while not allowing her to manipulate him any longer. Saved his marriage. And that seriously is what port car merchants, that is what the port car method is here to give you. The man who passes the tests remains unmoved. He is calm, in control. He doesn't chase when she pulls away. He doesn't crumble when she pushes. Research from the University of New Mexico found that women's attraction increased significantly when men demonstrated emotional non-reactivity during conflicts. Not coldness, control. Control of yourself, control of the situation, control of your reactions. So let's get specific about a woman's contradictions. They will say they want a man who shares his feelings. What they respond to is a man who manages his emotions without needing her validation. They say they want equality. What they respond to is clear leadership. They say they want a man who respects them. Here's the secret, and something no one else will tell you. A man who respects his woman hasn't a clue what else to do with her. And believe you me, my friends, what women crave is all of that what else you do with her. A 2022 study found that women reported higher sexual satisfaction with partners displaying traditional masculine traits, like assertiveness and emotional stability, despite publicly endorsing, again, progressive partner preferences. And here's where most men go wrong. They listen to what women say instead of watching what they do. Women communicate covertly. They hint. They imply. Women understand that amongst themselves. Men, however, we communicate overtly. We say what we mean, and I'd like to hope that we mean what we say. I know I do. And this fundamental difference creates endless confusion. When a woman says, "I'm fine," you know she's not fine. When she says, "Oh, you do whatever you want," you know she's not giving you permission to do whatever you want. It's that kind of contradiction that will kill you Research found that women use approximately 3 times more nonverbal cues in communication than men do.
Okay.
And the man who understands this does not get frustrated. You read her body language, her tone, her eyes, not just her words, and sometimes not her words at all. What do women really want? Based on research and experience, they want masculine frame, a man whose reality is stronger than theirs. They want leadership, a man who makes decisions without needing approval. They want emotional stability, a man who doesn't break under pressure. They want competence, because being good at something demonstrates mastery. And finally, they want a challenge. They don't want a man who is easily won over. A 2021 comprehensive review analyzed data from over 40 studies and found those traits consistently predicted both attraction and relationship satisfaction across cultures. So it's not just an American thing. You might worry that embracing the principles I am espousing means becoming toxic. Nothing could be further from the truth. True masculinity isn't about aggression. It's about strength. It's about protection, the ability to actually defend yourself and her in everything that you claim. And finally, of course, leadership. Women don't fear those qualities. My friends, they crave them. No matter what they say, they crave masculine dominance. So how do you become the man women actually want? It's easy. It's not simple, but it's easy. Or maybe I have that backwards. Maybe it's simple, but not easy. Stop seeking approval. The moment you need her validation is when you lose her respect. Maintain emotional control. When she's emotional, be a rock, not a mirror. Don't fall into her storms, because sometimes her storms are manufactured. And they're just there to test you. And you'll fail if you fall into it. Lead with clarity. Don't ask her, well, I don't know, what do you want to do? Tell her, this is what we're doing. Have boundaries and enforce them. When she tests those boundaries, hold firm without anger or explanation. Be excellent at something. Excellence signals competence and genetic fitness. The gap between what women say they want and what they respond to is not going away. You can fight it and fail, or understand it and succeed. This isn't about tricking women, it's about understanding reality. When you become the man women actually want, emotionally strong, psychologically stable, purposeful, you're serving the world's best interests, and she is part of the world. Women are happier with men they respect, more passionate with men who maintain their edge. This is observable reality across cultures and throughout history. The most successful relationships are not based on equality, they're based on complementary strengths. When you embrace your masculine nature, she responds, she defaults to her feminine nature. This polarity creates attraction, passion, and stability. The best revenge is living well. You have been lied to by not just women, but the culture itself, the educational system. Everything around you has told you to believe all women, and that doing what they tell you to is the best way to win their affection. My friend, when you become the best man you can be, you embarrass all of those idiots out there who wish they could have what you now get. And I'm going to help you throw rocks at those bastards. It's not your fault. We're here to help. Visit portcarmerchants.com and book yourself a free 15-minute consultation to see if you qualify for our one-on-one mentoring program. And during that 15 minutes, we'll give you good data. Or take advantage of our downloadable guides, which delve deeply into the psychology necessary to build unshakable masculine frame with actionable steps you can implement today. Hell, I even have a free bonus guide you can download, giving you access to secrets and tips you'll never learn anywhere except at Port Car Merchants. Fellas, never be lied to or cheated on again. That's my promise.